Over the last several years, we have seen so many different athletes and coaches and GMs and presidents and whatever make all the statements they want about politics, make all the statements they want about social justice. And as long as it's with the right narrative, the NFL and the mainstream media has no problem with it. But as soon as there is an opinion that differs from that, maybe one that might be from a conservative point of view, all of the sudden that is not okay and they're being forced to answer questions about that. And that was the case with Jack Del Rio, defensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders. Washington Commanders defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio questions why, quote, the summer of riots, looting, burning, and the destruction of personal property is not discussed. And this was on Twitter. It's where it started because, of course, the January 6th committee, which is going on right now, this whole dog and pony show to continue to bring up Trump and continue to exacerbate and, hyperbolize and do all these ridiculous things about January 6th. Jack Del Rio responded this: would love to understand the whole story about why the summer of riots, looting, burning, and the destruction of personal property is never discussed, but this is hashtag common sense. And he's not wrong. A lot more people lost their lives during the BLM riots. A lot more property was destroyed. We're talking about billions and billions, tens of billions of dollars worth of property destruction. But no big investigations, nothing like this from these politicians. Jack Del Rio has a great point there. And of course, he was asked about this, and he said other things too, right? He's retweeted other things on social media. Receipts from Dinesh Saw 2000 Mules, talking about it's not okay for drag queens to dance in front of kids. Normal kind of mainstream conservative stuff. But then, of course, he was specifically asked about it at a press conference, and here's what he said.
You want to talk about it? I'd talk about it with anybody. Yeah, no problem. At any time. But they're not. I'm just expressing myself. And I think we all as Americans have the right to express ourselves, especially if you're being respectful. I'm being respectful. I just asked a simple question. Really, let's get right down to it. What did I ask? A simple question. Why are we not looking into those things? If we're going to talk about it, why are we not looking into those things? Because it's kind of hard for me to say I can realistically look at it. I see the images on TV. People's livelihoods are being destroyed. Businesses are being burned down. No problem. And then we have a dust up at the Capitol. Well, there's nothing burned down. And we're not going to talk about, we're going to make that a major deal. I just think it's kind of two standards. And if we apply the same standard and we're going to be reasonable with each other, let's have a discussion.
That's what Jack Del Rio said. He referred to January 6th as a dust-up at the Capitol. I actually think that's a great way to refer to it. But that wasn't okay. You immediately started seeing these articles from the mainstream media. No, Jack Del Rio, January 6th wasn't a dust-up. It was a violent act of treason. And all these fucking pussies in the sports media and the mainstream media. Jack Del Rio ends up posting an apology. I made comments earlier today referencing the attack that took place at the Capitol on January 6th. Referencing the situation as a dust-up was irresponsible and negligent, and I am sorry. I stand by my comments condemning violence in communities across the country. I say that while expressing my support as an American citizen. I've fully supported all peaceful protests in America. That got ratioed by lunatics, that got ratioed by losers on Twitter. But the very fact is that Jack Del Rio is right. There is a double standard when it comes to all this stuff, and clearly there's a double standard for speaking your mind about what's going on politically and socially. If you have a conservative point of view, it's not allowed. The sports media, the mainstream media, these fucking cucks, they will not allow anything that goes against their narrative. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.